The time.
Most of that division got late start today. And as far as the Indianapolis Colts and the Buffalo Bills were concerned, they got a late start all preseason. Neither team won a preseason game, but you had a feeling that sooner or later the Bills would at least show their colors, right?
Yeah, I saw Swami on Friday, how you said the preseason doesn't really matter unless you go 4-0 or 0-4, and the Bills and also the Colts, someone was going to taste victory for the first time in 1990. Would it be the Bills? Would it be the Colts? Well, it was the long-awaited debut of the rookie quarterback for the Colts, Jeff George. But first, a look at the veteran, Jim Kelly. Last year was upset the Bills didn't throw enough, so this year hits a wide-open Andre Reed. Kelly 10 for his first 10. And Kelly hits James Lofton. Notice how much time Kelly has in the pocket, okay? Kelly again, tons of time, dumps off to Thurman Thomas. The short pass is working for the Bills, and Jim Kelly goes 14 for his first 14 this year. So how did the Bills score? You got it. Short pass, Kelly to Butch Roll. It's 10-3 Bills. And for Roll, his last 6 receptions have all been touchdown catches. So how was a rookie faring? Well, he didn't have Kelly's luxury of time. Bruce Smith will get to him, and Leon Seals recovers the fumble. George dropping back again, and he is sacked again. Jeff Wright this time, and yes, just a tad bit excited. And when he does get the pass off, Albert Bentley just lost among a sea of blue jerseys. The Bills are fired up for this season opener. And Jeff George not too happy about his first half of NFL football. Mom and Dad a little nervous. Second half, and it started to get better. George lost a great pass to the veteran Stanley Morgan, who grabs it, keeps his feet in. Colts pulled to within 16-10. But then it all faded to black for the rookie. Yeah, Cornelius Bennett puts an incredible hit on George, and he is down in pain. And now Jeff's parents have good reason to be nervous. Take another look at this hit. Bennett gets a helmet on him, and his head hits the turf hard. That was it for George and for the Colts as they lose by a final of 26-10. But the rookie, not too bad. He was, well, not too bad in his passing. 13 for 24, 106 yards, and also a touchdown. Not too shabby.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime. A team that was very rude on the Buffalo Bills when they played in Florida, Miami Dolphins. I mean, the Bills, they could never buy a win in the Orange Bowl, but in the history of Joe Robbie Stadium, they were 3 for 3 going into today's matchup, a little bit north of Miami. The way the Bills played today, though, they should have tried the Orange Bowl. They might have been better off. Don Shula looking for his 200th win as Miami head coach. Dan Marino, Shula, they've had some differences lately, but on Sundays, they try and win football games, and it was defense that helped the Bills win today. Look at them stack up Kennebrew on 4th and 1. Then Marino took over using all his receivers. Out of the shotgun, Tony Martin, first down. Into Tony Page, Marino, another first down. Then the second-year man, Sammy Smith, makes a reception out of the backfield. Then on 3rd and 6, just activated yesterday, Crash Jensen with the big first down reception, bowling over Williams. Then Marino again to Page, takes it to the 3. Into the first quarter, Don said, whoa, it could be a fast game, especially if we keep it on the ground. And on 4th and inches from the 1, Sammy Smith can pound it over. Dolphins, a 9-minute, 11-second drive. They lead it 7-0. Bills' next possession, Kelly dumps it off to Pete Metzelaars. He dumps it off after he's hit by John Offerdahl. Albert Oglesby recovers, turns into a Stoyanovich field goal. Bills' next possession, Kelly deflects it. Look at Louis Oliver. What a great interception. Leads to another field goal. Offerdahl and company playing the tough D. Interesting matchup between Bruce Smith and the rookie left tackle Richmond Webb, and the youngster did fine, Tommy.
Webb matched up head-to-head with Smith much of the day here. He gets a little help from Tony Page, but they did a good job holding Smith out. Here you see Webb. He allows him to get to the quarterback, but Marino still has time to get rid of the ball.
In the second half, as Bruce and company befuddled, the Bills try to go to their hurry-up offense. Kelly couldn't make it work. He throws way over the head of James Lofton. Jimbo today, not the kind of day he wants to write home about. 14 of 23 for a $140. Sammy Smith wasn't done. He'll write home about this one. 2 short runs, but 2 touchdown runs. The Dolphins led it 23-0, went on to lead it 30-0 before the Bills finally broke the shutout. Smith's numbers, and the number for Don Shula as head coach of the Miami Dolphins, 200 wins, and our congratulations to him. The Dolphins, after just 2 weeks all alone in first place of the AFC East, as they lambaste the Buffalo Bills by the count of 30-7. Only 4 coaches have
the Meadowlands and humiliated the Jets. Buffalo was just one of the teams who last Sunday rebounded as well as Moses Malone ever has. Let's take a look.
Trying to help the Jets rebound from last season's 4-12 record, head coach Bruce Kozlett thought he had things running smoothly after last week's win. But Monday night it was clear there are still some bumps ahead in the Jets' road to success. Trying to rebound from last week's loss, the Buffalo Bills got back on the winning track with a bang. While Mark Kelso packed a wallop for the Bills' defense, running back Thurman Thomas brought the hammer down on the Jets with 214 rushing yards. The Bills produced 7 plays of at least 20 yards en route to 451 yards of total offense and 30 unanswered points as they bounce back into first place with a 30-7 win.
Very close Cinderella-style games the last couple of weeks. Bills were beaten 2 weeks ago, 30-7. Last week they won 30-7. Would the real Bills show up? Well, that was a question today. Maybe what we saw. Which Bills were they? Well, we know which Denver Broncos they were. Bobby Humphrey, number 2 rusher in the NFL, going in. He was unstoppable today. Look at him slice and dice the Bills defense for a touchdown. 7-0 Denver. His counterpart, number 1 rusher in the NFL, Thurman Thomas, going in, had a woeful day. The Broncos did a nice job of rush defense. Nice, the understatement of the year. 13 carries, 36 yards for Thurman Thomas. But Humphrey's still hot. 6 yards for a first down, and look at the front line, Tommy.
And anytime you see a great runner, you're going to see a great offensive line. You see the hole created by the counter trap, which the Washington Redskins made great. Bobby Humphrey is a very good instinctive runner. He knows how to make the cut.
Yeah, instinctively for 177 yards. And Steve Sewell, valuable guy, continues to be for Dan Reeves' squad. A touchdown, and here's the hole again, Tom.
Steve Sewell comes through, and he's actually untouched until he gets to the end zone.
14-3 Denver at the half. In the second half, a bad omen, maybe. Treadwell going to kick it off, and the ball rolls off the tee. But maybe not. Broncos get it back. Elway dropped off, and Kirby Jackson picks off the poorly thrown pass. But the Bills couldn't capitalize here as the Broncos defense continued to do their job. Next possession. As Bruce Smith sacks Elway. Darryl Talley recovers for the Bills. And soon thereafter, the Broncos would pay for this one as Don Smith, kind of a trick. Whoa, it never gets to Kelly. Tommy at the time, they have to score on plays like that. 12-yard run. It's a 14-9 Bronco lead. Thurman Thomas continues to struggle with it, but the Broncos recover. And the Broncos want to take advantage. Elway to Sammy Winder. 6 yard, plus the late hit by Shane Conlon. Soon after, Winder scores 21-9. The Broncos lead with 10:27 to go in the game. David Treadwell, 24-yard field goal blocked by Nate Odoms. Cornelius Bennett scoops it up. Let's get it go. He could go all the way. 80 yards, a touchdown. The Broncos thought they could pad their lead. Now their lead only 5, 21-16. Next series for the Broncos. Dr. Sack, Leon Seals tips the ball, picked off by Leonard Smith. He could go all the way. Touchdown, 39 yards. The point after by Scott Norwood was no good, but the Bills still led it 22-21. Elway looking for magic after the pitback and the kickoff and the penalty. Crowd too loud. Bob McElwee says, please help us.
Has been requested to assist in quieting the crowd. We appreciate your cooperation.
So on the next play, Elway fumbles. Cornelius Bennett recovers. Davis scores from 2 yards out. In a minute 17, the Bills lead 29-21. But Elway to Ricky Natil, and here come the Broncos back. It's a 29-28 Buffalo lead. Onside kick. Treadwell with a good job. Pete Metzelaars scoops it for the Bills. And the Bills hang on in one of the wildest games we've seen in a long time. The Bills beat the Broncos 29-28. After the game, each coach reacted to the bizarre nature of the
Last week.
Going into Sunday night's game in Buffalo, the Raiders had been invincible, able to dish it out even when they were supposed to be taking it. But even LA's impenetrable armor could not withstand a 24-point fourth-quarter barrage by the Buffalo Bills.
Hockey throwing long, and it is Lofton down there. Touchdown! Touchdown to James Lofton. There's the snap, and it's blocked, and the Bills have the ball, and on the way to the end zone for the touchdown. The number 31, James Williams, he scores!
For the second week in a row, the Bills' special teams and defense exploded in the face of their opponent. And once again, number 97, Cornelius Bennett, was in the middle. Two late-game takeaways were the key to Buffalo's come-from-behind win.
And his quick throw is caught at midfield. They're going to take it away. Right, Adams, and he streaks down the sideline. 20, 10, 5, touchdown. He runs into the end zone for the touchdown.
The win made it 2 in a row for the Bills, which is what the Seattle Seahawks.
The Buffalo Bills. The last 6 times these two teams have met, the Bills have squashed them, as Axe likes to say, like a grape, including Week 3 on a Monday night in the Meadowlands when the Bills won it 30-7. Thurman Thomas wearing thermal underwear. Ran for 214 yards and only 18 carries in that game, and he carried the Bills to their big win. So, the Bills expect a laugher off of their bye last week? Well, the Jets said early in the person of Eric McMillan, don't expect it. Thomas was hurt making a clothesline tackle on McMillan there, so 214 the last time, 2 rushes for 5 yards today. What a difference a couple of weeks make. Jets lead at 7-0 in the first, 4th and 2. Leahy. No, it's a fake field goal. The punter and holder, Joe Prokop, goes left. He does step out of bounds, but the Jets have the first down deep. That leads to 2nd and goal. Kenny O'Brien to Mike Boyer. Touchdown surprise in Buffalo. The Jets lead 14-0. Bills score to make it 14-7. On 4th and 5, O'Brien hits a wide-open Altoon, beats Kirby Jackson, and the drive stays alive. 2 plays later, Kenny O fakes, rolls right, 19-yarder, Altoon, 21-7 the Jets. But the Bills, if they have been known to do this year, come back. 3rd and 13, Jim Kelly to Don Smith. Hits the reverse to Andre Reed. Look at Kelly out there trying to lead some interference anyway. Not a good idea. 25 yards. 1 play later, Kelly to Reed. 2nd TD of the day, 21-17 Jets at the half. Reed, 8 catches, 116 yards. Bruce Smith, meanwhile, as he usually does, was making lives miserable for the Jets.
And Chris, he can be awfully dangerous when he gets that quick start. He was working on Jeff Criswell all day. Here he catches Johnny Hector from behind, goes right around Criswell, gets the sack, and this forces those false starts. It forces the offensive linemen to try to do things that they just can't. Here he battles, gets knocked down. Criswell gets the holding call, and he's upset with the referee.
Couple sacks today for Bruce Smith. 2nd half, the Jets lead at 24-17. Kelly to James Lofton. He beats James Shake Your Booty for 60 yards at the touchdown. 60 career touchdowns for the venerable Lofton. We're tied at 24. 4th quarter, we're still tied. Scott Norwegian Norwood misses the 25-yarder. We're still tied. Want to see a great catch? Watch this by Rob Moore. Are you kidding me? Leads to 17-year veteran Pat Leahy. Of course, he's good for 25 yards out. Jets lead 27-24. Under 3 minutes to go. Bills try to come back. Kelly pass. Joe Mott. Oh, almost makes it applesauce for Buffalo, but he doesn't come up with the interception. 26 seconds. Kelly scrambles to the unlikely receiver, Jamie Mueller. 14-yard touchdown. Boom! Norwood misses the extra point, but the Jets couldn't get the Hail Mary. And the Bills come from behind. This wasn't your normal 18-block punt effort in the fourth quarter for Buffalo. But the last seconds, Kelly to Mueller wins it, and the Bills beat 4 in a row, their best winning streak in 5 years. So they win. Could the team they were tied with atop the AFC East remain tied with them? The Buffalo Bills at the Patriots cover up, although at Foxborough, Steve Grogan was back, so there was hope. Except the first play from scrimmage, it is Mark Wilson imitation. Second play, John Stevens had 90 yards rushing, but he was stuffed by Bruce Smith. Marv Levy's squad has been a slow starter this year. In the first quarter, they've had only 1 touchdown. But watch Andre Reed right here. Is this beautiful or what? One-handed grab of the Kelly pass, pickup of 18. Same drive. Patriots blitz. Andre Reed gets the first down to the 3. The next play, Don Smith. Airborne, stays there by, it's a touchdown. 7-0 Bills. That was Don Smith. This is a more famous Bill, Bruce Smith, Tommy, as he handled Chris Gamble.
Well, Bruce, a force to be reckoned with in any game. Here he blows by Chris Gamble to sack Steve Grogan, and then on 2nd and goal, he stuffs John Stevens for no gain.
Which sets up a 3rd and goal. Grogan going to the end zone. But Nate Odoms makes a nice interception. Pass intended for McMurtry. Didn't get any better for Patriots beleaguered head coach Rod Rust. 3rd and 9, Jim Kelly. Is James Lofton open here, Tom?
Slightly.
Yeah. Ball was slightly underthrown. Otherwise, it would have been a touchdown instead of just 52 yards. Thurman Thomas, hurt last week in the first quarter against the Jets, had a big day. Here he takes the handoff, gains a tough 10 yards down to the 3. Next play, look at Kelly looking like J.C. Watts. Pitches it back to Thomas. Around Rod McSwain. Touchdown Bills. They lead it 14-0. Andre Reed was leveled by Maurice Hurst. Reminded him this is a divisional game. Then he gets leveled by the wall outside the end zone. Andre woozy, but he was all right. The man who was really all right was Thurman Thomas. 22 carries, 136 yards. So quick, getting through the hole, runs for 26 yards. McSwain saves the touchdown. Then the pitch around left end. Thurman runs for 15 more. Thurman had a TD. We mentioned his stats. He was back in form. Might not be the year of the Buffalo, but today in New England it certainly was, as the Bills stomp on the New England Patriots 27-10. They lost 7 of their last 8 at Foxborough, but today it was, how you say, a veritable laugher. Usually, to Cleveland, and the Browns won 34-30. That was last January. This is November. What a difference a year makes. Man on the hot seat in Cleveland, Bud Carson. Squad 2-6 going in. Made the move to start Mike Pagel instead of Bernie Kosar. Didn't decide till late in the afternoon. Art Modell, well, this is going to be interesting to see how this works. Bills defensive line, yeah, they were working. Will Wolford, 69. Jim Richer, 51. Couple of veterans double-teaming Michael Dean Perry, pushing him out. Thurman Thomas, he's quick, and he's in the end zone, and the Bills lead early, 7-0. Then Thurman, from the 11-yard line, 2nd quarter, he waltzes in for the touchdown. It's 14-0. Some good blocking here.
He waltzes into the dance of John Davis and Howard Ballard, and Raymond Claiborne and Thane Gash pay the price.
Bud watching as his team trails 14-0. For a while, Pagel and the offense heated up. The nice catch by Brian Brennan inside the 10-yard line. Soon, Pagel over the middle to Webster Slaughter for a touchdown. But Jerry Seaman says,
pass interference, number 82 offense.
Well, they call it on
Ozzie. Penalty gives away the touchdown. And then the blocked field goal attempt by Tony Korick. John Hagee picks it up. Bruce DeHaven, special teams, once again doing the job for the Bills. Browns get the ball back. Pagel to Ozzie Newsome. He's passed Charlie Taylor into 4th in the all-time receiving list. He had 3 today, now has 650 for his career. Then they can't even snap it to Mike Pagel, the holder. Mike Morris, a snap over his head again. The Browns waste the scoring opportunity. Art into the darkness. Second half, Jim Kelly throwing to Andre Reed. Watch this catch and run by the Pro Bowl receiver. He had 7 catches on the day. That one was good for 43 yards. The Bills scored a touchdown on the drive. They led it 21-0. Oh, by the way, Bills have a pretty good defense. Watch number 97, Cornelius Bennett. Bat down the pass of Mike Pagel. Browns tried anything. Razzle-dazzle. Reverse to Webster Slaughter. The rookie corner. J.D. Williams just throws him down. And when Pagel passed it, sometimes it wasn't a great idea. Tip, the unsung. Was a Bob Seger game because it was against the wind. They were young and strong with the Cardinals, but they were running against the wind. Larry Centers can't handle a kickoff. Rich Camarillo. Weather's not like this in Arizona. But the Cards do one thing right. Cedric McNails. Jim Kelly recovers the ball at the 7, and it sets up a touchdown, and the Cardinals, smelling upset, they lead the Bills 7-0 in the first. But Jim Kelly comes back after the hit. Watch him respond. Man, it's quietly becoming a big target for him. The tight end, Keith McKellar, we're tied at 7. Kelly goes to put, shake, rattle, and roll. 8 straight catches of his have been for a touchdown. It's 14-7. Then 30 seconds left in the half. Kelly to the white flash. Don Beebe for a 44-yard pickup. And then on the next play, usually the special teams player extraordinaire, with Andre Reed out, Steve Atasker catches the touchdown. It's 21-7 Buffalo. Second half, beautiful day in Buffalo. The Cards said, when's the next flight out? Rick Rootin' Tootin' tries to get this punt up. Bicycahama off his head. The Bills recover in a comedy of errors. And do you think Rich Camarillo's enjoying himself? Nice. Call a travel agent near you. You, too, could have been at Rich Stadium. This punt, 12 yards. The next one, 10 yards. Meanwhile, the Bills, hey, it's beautiful here in Western New York. Thermal Thomas carried for 112 yards, and look at him speed up, Tom.
The great thing is the acceleration once he gets to the hole.
And he gets 112 yards. And what about the play of Jim Kelly this year, Tom, as he looks for Don Beebe?
This is the worst of situations to play under. He threw with poise. He threw with touch. He's showing the leadership that they expected when he came to the Bills.
4 touchdown passes for Kelly, 11 for 16. The Bills piling it on. Kenneth Davis. Nice cutback. Looks like it's an 80-degree day to me. 13 yards for the score. Not even Joe could blow the bugle on this one. The Bills over the Cards, 45-14. They are 8-1 to keep pace with the Dolphins. They've won 7 in a row. Their last 3 games, they've won by a combined score of 114-24, and the Cards got only 127 yards in offense. These two teams are going down.
Of 300-plus yards this season. As far as Buffalo is concerned, they had the Patriots up north. Figured to be a long day for Rod Russ. On the Bills' first possession, they go immediately to Thurman Thomas, who marches the Bills down the field. 9 yards on this play. 9 more on this play. And from 5 yards out behind the block of Howard Ballard, Thurman Thomas gives Buffalo a 7-0 lead. There is the block by Ballard. Meanwhile, Mark Wilson and the Patriots were able to move the ball on the Buffalo defense. Wilson finds George Adams all the way down to the 2-yard line. Adams, the former Giant. Patriots knocking on the door. 4th and goal. Marvin Allen gets the handoff, and he is met head-on by Ray Bentley.
Bruce Smith says to fans, let's tear down the goalpost. I guarantee there'll be no beer consumed in Western New York tonight. Sure, Buffalo beat Miami 24-14, and they're home all the way through the AFC playoffs. Bruce Smith said, how sweet it is. The playoffs, playing today not for position, but maybe the Bills and the Redskins were trying to decide which one would go to the postseason with more of a forward spin. Let's go to RFK Stadium. The Bills and the Redskins. Jim Kelly encouraging Frank Lloyd Wright, the architect of the big win last week over Miami, but he's pressured by Wilbur Marshall. Down he goes with help from Andre Collins. On 3rd and 1, Reich is looking for his tight end Keith McKellar. Makes the catch, but again it's Wilbur Marshall. Causes the fumble, and he recovers it for Reich, who was hit several times by the Skins. Played the first half with 7 for 14. Even the most reliable seemed out of it today, Tommy.
Chris, a good sign that the Bills may have had a little bit of an emotional letdown after their game last week is when you see Thurman Thomas fumble the football as he does here. It's forced by Tracy Rocker, and Timmy Johnson recovers.
If you like kicking, and if you like the Redskins, you love Chip Lowell from 37, from 24, from 19, from 43, and from 32 yards. 5 for 5 on field goals, a pair of extra points. Chip Lohmiller, most of the Redskins' offense. One guy who did play up to his normal Pro Bowl status, the Bills' Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith did not get a sack today, but he showed why he may indeed be the best defensive player in this league. Here he comes inside on Jim Lachey to put the rush on Rippon, forcing the incompletion. Here he splits the double team, but has the presence of mind to read the screen, get back out to the play. He does not make the tackle on Clark, but he forces him back to the inside where Leonard Smith cleans up.
Only Bruce Smith is fast enough to be even in the neighborhood
Only
of
Bruce Smith.
Gary Clark, that's for sure. In the second half, Reich turned it over to Gail Gilbert. But unfortunately for the Bills, he turned it over to Alvin Walton, and he could go all the way. But he doesn't. Kenneth Davis tackles him after a 60-yard return. Gilbert threw a pair of touchdown passes, also threw a pair of picks. On 2nd and goal, Gerald Riggs, just off the IR. Touchdown from 3 yards out. The Skins are up 22-7. Later in the 4th, a 3rd and 6. Look at the throw by Mark Rippon. Going down, fires it to Stephen Hobbs. He takes it in. And while Marv Levy wasn't that concerned, he still couldn't have been that pleased, but Mark Rippon was, because the Redskins, of all the teams going to the playoffs on Sunday, they probably look the best. The Skins, or at least on this one day, the Skins beat Buffalo 29-14.
You weren't sure? The road to the Super Bowl in Tampa continues to go through San Francisco and Buffalo. To help us drive the road today here on Primetime, as always, Tom Jackson, Pete Axnome. And we saw the #1 seeds in action today in both of the conferences, the Buffalo Bills and the San Francisco 49ers. Now, up north in Buffalo, the Bills hosted for the 3rd time. They played for the 3rd time this year. Their AFC East rival, the Miami Dolphins, the teams with the 2 best records in the AFC, 13-3, 12-4. They split their regular season games, Miami winning at home early, Buffalo winning in Buffalo just 3 weeks ago. The intrigue, would Jim Kelly play? And if so, how effective would he be after a month off? Now, what 80,000-plus people in Western New York were saying, since we've got no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. They figured that would be to their advantage. Wasn't snowing at the start of the game, but the wind was blowing and the extra sweaters were out. The Bills fans, knowing their team was undefeated at home this year, 8-0, 23-2 over the last 3 years. Dan Marino, Tom Olivadotti, the Dolphins defensive coordinator, wondering how could they stop Jim Kelly. It was a good thing to wonder, because on the first play of the game, look at the Kelly pass, look at the Thermal Thomas catch. Good for 21 yards. Kelly going with the no-huddle offense. Looked like he hadn't missed a beat. A few plays later, Andre Reed beats Louis Oliver. He could go all the way. Touchdown. 1 drive, 7 points. Buffalo, 7-0. So Dan Marino said, this is what we're facing. Looks for Jim Jensen, but throws to the center instead. What happened here?
There was a reason that Jensen wasn't in the picture. Cornelius Bennett here plows over him, knocking him right out of the pattern. They contain Jensen all day. Here, Darryl Talley will tackle him as he tries to get out of the backfield. It wasn't called, but they punished Jensen on the day.
The Dolphins' drive stalled, but we've seen this, haven't we? A long-range field goal through rain, through sleet, through sun. Stoyanovic's 49-yarder. Now traction a problem as the Dolphins pulled it within 7-3. Second series, Kelly to the man that excels in cold weather. Remember him in Green Bay? Sure you do. Here's James Lofton, 1, 2, 3.5 feet in bounds. Concentration as he beats McKyer. That sets up a Norwood field goal, 10-3 Buffalo. Marino to Mark Clayton, off his hands, into the hands of Nate Odoms for the INT. So, next time they have the ball, what about the knee brace? Kelly is stripped by E.J. Jr., rubbing, bumping, stumbling, but all-pro center Ken Hull falls on it, saves the day, saves a field goal, 13-3 Buffalo against Don Shula and company. Then, Kelly. Andre Reed burning Oliver again, finally brought down by Jarvis Williams.
And Lewis Oliver put in a bad spot all day, brought up on the line of scrimmage to deal with a guy who's much quicker, much faster than he is, and it showed all day.
It also showed that Thurman Thomas could still run at home against Miami. 6-yard touchdown. It's going to be a dog day afternoon. No, sir, because the Bills favored to win in the cold lead at 20-3. But the Dolphins. Last week it was Marino to Clayton. This time he reacquainted himself with Mark Duper, who was super duper on this play. 64 yards. Could the Dolphins stay in? They trailed 20-10. On the next series, here come the Bills again. Kelly to Lofton. He walks in from 14 yards out. 5 series, 5 scores, 27-10. Looked like it was going to be 50-10. Those are Kelly's numbers in the first half. Lofton on the game, almost 150 yards on 7 catches. Meanwhile, how could Marino come back when he's facing Bruce Smith?
Well, Bruce Smith had to face rookie Richmond Webb all day, and it was pretty much a standoff. Here, Webb holding off Smith as Marino gets a pass off without being hit. Then Smith eludes Webb and Kenneth Sims to knock Marino down after he throws the ball, but that's a lot of pressure to throw under. Then Smith beating Webb, dragging down Mark Logan for a 5-yard loss. He excels playing the run game, something people don't talk about a lot.
And then Bruce combined with the unsung Darryl Talley to sandwich the referee, Rex Stewart, who had to be tough. Last minute of the half, Miami gets a break. The rookie Al Edwards hits a Fedman, and the punter Reggie Roby recovers. 4th down on the same series. Marino not going just for first down, going deep to Duper. Sets up 1st and goal. 3 plays later, the mercurial one. Marino always runs well in the snow. Touchdown, 27-17 at the half. Who would have thunk they would score this many points in this sort of weather at the half? In the second half, you knew it'd be a dogfight. Miami. Marino, after his first 6 or 7 passes were flutterers, he bulleted the ball all day. 31 yards to Mark Clayton from
Louisville.
Then Sammy Smith chugs up the middle for 16, and the Dolphins look like they're going in. But on 3rd and short, Shane Conlon and Gary Baldinger snuff Smith. Dolphins settle for a field goal to win in the touchdown, 27-20. The Bills come back. Looks like an INT, but look at Lofton make the catch between 3 Dolphin defenders. But then Kelly threw one he shouldn't have. Going for broke. Jarvis Williams picks it off at the 1. Why the bad pass?
Chris, we see the other end of the play coming in from Kelly's left side. Hugh Green hits him so that he can't step into the throw. Kelly showed a lot of toughness with that bad leg today.
After a field goal by Norwood made it 30-20, the Buffalo Bills. Mark Logan, who until the end excelled in this ball game, 43-yard return. And Tony Page, we saw him block so beautifully last week for the Dolphins against Kansas City in the cold. He did the same thing, Tom.
Here you see Page working on Carlton Bailey as Smith goes up the middle for 7, and then he runs right over Ray Bentley, opening up a good hole for Smith again, down to the 2.
I literally said to Ray, welcome to my nightmare. 4th quarter, see that guy number 61? Roy Foster reported as an extra tight end. Look at this. He knew what he was doing. He knows everything except how to spot. Well, what do I don't know. Okay, it's a touchdown. And the Dolphins have forged a tremendous comeback, 30-27. But the Bills get a break. When the deflection off Reed's hands can't be held by Reichenbach, Thurman Thomas later in the drive, 5 of his 117 yards, and Buffalo's back up by 10, 37-27. We mentioned Logan. Fumbled up there 3 weeks ago on a kickoff return. Here he gets popped by Hal Garner. Norwood recovers.
And he's trying to make something happen. That's the shame of it all. Return man always vulnerable with the football. Just an unfortunate case there for him to fumble that ball.
You know what happened? Kelly to Andre Reed. Touchdown. And it was about over. 44-27. Kelly threw for 339 yards. First man to throw for over 300 against the Dolphins this year. Marv Levy said, yes, we can score with anyone. Dan Marino said, you know, we played pretty well up here, but it wouldn't quite work. Get back, you fans. Don't go near those goalposts. The police guarded the post. Two members of the class of '83, Kelly and Marino, shake hands. Shula, Marv Levy wave at each other, shake hands. An outstanding ball game, folks, as the Bills beat the Dolphins 44-34, and they played like it was 75 or 80 degrees with beautiful skies and no wind. The 78 points in this game, the second highest scoring game in the history of the NFL playoffs. Only the overtime classic in the Orange Bowl between the Chargers and Dolphins, 41-38 San Diego, was more. The third highest was Dolphins-Steelers in the '84 title game. We all remember 73-0, the Bears and the Redskins. So second highest scoring total ever. And Jim Kelly said afterwards, you know what? Maybe the rest helped me.
I thought it helped me. The rest of my arm, I felt I had to zip today. I had it all week in practice. As a matter of fact, a couple of the receivers saying, take it easy a little bit. But overall, felt excellent. I think everybody was in tune. Everybody knew exactly what we had to go out and do today, and we did it. And like Coach Levy says, one more river to cross.
Defensively, we just struggled. We tried to put pressure on him. We blitzed him. He killed us blitzing. When we stayed back off, he had all day to throw the football and made the throws there. And we just, except for the one play, the big interception, we didn't get anything done defensively. And
I was kind of ticked off about the way they talk about us. You know, I really don't think at this point in time that Miami really gives us the respect that we deserve, really, because the way they shoot off at the mob and saying that, you know, they didn't play well the last time we were up here. Well, I think they played pretty damn good today, but they got their ass kicked.
Well, they did play pretty darn good, but they were beaten by 10 points. I'll be a little more eloquent than Thermal there. You know, we spoke about on game day, Tommy, that maybe Miami had to gamble, that maybe Kelly was rusty. Obviously, he wasn't rusty even in the snow, and he had a veteran that helped, number 80.
Yes, he did, Chris. You know, anytime you have inclement weather, I think it works on the receivers more than anyone else, just because they have to catch the ball. And I couldn't help but be reminded by James Lofton today of a game in 1984 on Monday night that we played in a blizzard in Colorado. We took a 14-point lead early in the game, but he had a career night throughout that game, made 11 or 12 catches. Well, he did the same thing today. I think that under pressure in bad weather, he shows the kind of poise and concentration that's going to take the Bills a long way.
You know, Tom, I'm sure a lot of viewers watching those highlights are wondering why was a safety, Louis Oliver, assigned to try and handle Andre Reed? Well, the answer is, as I mentioned on game day, defensive coordinator Tom Olivadotti was not dealing from a full deck today. He didn't have his best defensive player, linebacker John Offerdahl. So he had to experiment with different zones, try and make something work. Obviously, nothing worked. But I want to know, why do we have to put up these graphics that show that not only was this the second highest scoring game, but the first highest scoring game? My Dolphins lost that one, too.
Did you notice they were in the top three? So you know it's a habit here. And speaking of the Dolphins, Axe, let's say one thing before we wave goodbye to the Dolphins this season. Twice they went into Buffalo, 3 weeks ago and today. And twice they waged war. Twice they played better than a lot of folks thought they would. Looked like this could be 50-3 at one point in this game. They were right in it. Marino is now a mature quarterback. When he was in the playoffs before, he was a second and third year guy. This is a much better Marino, and this is a team that is going on from here. They can hold their heads up high because they had a shot to win that game. But it's Buffalo that moves on to the AFC title game, which they will host against the Raiders or the Bengals. And one reason why they beat the Dolphins again, Thermal Thomas at home against Miami. In his 4 games, he's run for 493 yards, more than the Dolphins combined, much more. And you see his touchdowns. He had a $117 today. He's one of the reasons. The San Francisco 49ers. Earlier in the day, much cooler climes. The Buffalo Bills, they had a chance the first year of the Super Bowl play to go on and represent the AFL in the Super Bowl. They hosted the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFL title game. They didn't win it. This is their first time hosting it since. Meanwhile, the team they played today, the LA Raiders, have been in 12 chances to make the Super Bowl. The Bills had never been to the Super Bowl, but boy, Are they going now with a vengeance? Let's take a look at the action at Rich Stadium. A record crowd, over 80,300, saw no bowl for the Raiders. The red, white, and blue colors were out. American flags, the red, white, and blue of the Buffalo Bills. Right from the get-go, they won the toss and the game was over. Thurman Thomas from the shotgun for 15. No huddle offense, no backfield. Where is it? It's down there. It's Thermal for 13. 2 plays later, Kelly to, Thermal Thomas. Over the middle, beats Tom Benson, a gain of 9. Defensive coordinator Dave Adolph said, this doesn't look good. He was right. 4 plays later from the 5, Kelly rolls out. Finds Andre Reed, touchdown. 5 yards, 7-0 Bills. But working his 9th and final championship game, Jim Tunney says, holding on Jim Richards. So, all right, then we'll throw a 13-yard touchdown, no problem. Kelly even fumbles the snap. Eludes Greg Townsend. Finds James Lofton. 5 playoff games, 5 times in the end zone at least once. 7-0 Buffalo.
And the great thing about this play, Chris, is the presence of mind that Kelly has. Once he fumbles the ball, makes a tremendous pickup of the ball, then keeps his head up in order to find Lofton for the touchdown.
So the Raiders, Jay Schrader, down 7-0. How would they respond? Well, he's got a couple of good cold weather receivers like Swervin Mervin Fernandez out of the CFL that picked up 26. On the next play, Schrader to the former Chicago Bear, Willie Gault. He of the bobsled, picked up a 24. 2 plays later on 3rd and 5, Schrader to Fernandez. He can't hold on. But the Raiders do answer with some points. Jeff Mick Jagger nails the field goal at 7-3, but if you're a Raider fan, that was it. Dave Adolph hopes the Raider defense can adjust. One thing they tried to do is Gary Lewis, put him in the nickel package, but it doesn't matter. Kelly, undaunted, the bomb to Lofton. 43-yard pickup. Tommy, the guy gets better. He's like fine wine.
And he did a tremendous job today fighting his way off the line of scrimmage and then just watch the catch and enjoy it.
On the next play, Kelly finds no one open. He of the knee brace. Let it go for the first down. The Bills in business again. Next play, the draw to Thurman Thomas. 12 yards, touchdown. 14-3 Buffalo. It was not a good day for the Raiders.
Raiders get caught in a line stunt with Howie Long going inside. Thurman Thomas reads it perfectly and then accelerates to the end zone.
Speaking of Thurman Thomas, watch this. Are you kidding me? The one-handed grab and another first down. However, the Bills' drive is actually thwarted as Gary "This Diamond Ring" Lewis makes the interception right there. A golden opportunity for Schrader and the Raiders to get back in it. But with about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, Schrader picked off by the unsung linebacker Darryl Talley. Once again, he's not in the Pro Bowl, but he's in the end zone for a touchdown. 12 minutes in, the game was over, 21-3 Buffalo. So Mike White trying to calm Schrader down on the phone. That's the quarterback coach, but it was a connection that was not good. Marcus Allen, split wide. No, sir. As you see what happens here, he's just frustrated, Tom.
And Marcus Allen never got looked at by Schrader here, and you can see the frustration as the play ends.
You move Schrader's feet, he gets to be in trouble sometimes. Bruce Smith psyched for his namesake, Don Smith. But on the goal line, he's stopped. 11th play of this drive. Thurman Thomas is stopped. So on 4th down, never a question for Ted Marchibroda's offense. Kenneth Davis, first of his 3 touchdowns, 27-3. Rich Stadium going berserk. Art Shell knew what was going on. And if he didn't know then, it was convincing when Jamie Holland tried to return the kick, but Buffalo's Jamie was better. Jamie Mueller recovers it. The Bills, the knockout punch against Al Davis. Even though Norwood missed the field goal, they get it back. A Tasker. Steve Tasker catches the 44-yard bomb. Kenneth Davis with another touchdown. 34-3. We're still in the second quarter. You could feel momentum. The Raiders just had no shot. Picked off by Nate Odoms, and Odoms going to turn it into a nice return. While James Lofton had plenty to smile about today.
The Bills have developed a great knockout punch. His name is Lofton. Look at the strength as he leaves the line of scrimmage there, beating Washington for a big game.
So on the next play, you go to Lofton, 41-3 before the end of the half. For the Raiders, it was simply a very long day. halftime stats. The score 41-3. The Bills almost 400 yards. The 41 points in the first half, the most ever in postseason play, the history of the NFL. Third quarter, more of the same. He goes deep, and it's going to get picked off by Kelso. Kelso picks it off at the Buffalo 5. Another Raider threat. No, Leonard Smith with the pick. Fourth quarter, Schrader connects with Darryl Talley. Even Vince Evans came in and threw a pick to Alice Cooper's favorite, Ray Bentley. Jay for the day, a lot of hot air. 13 of 31 for $150 and 5 picks. For Lionel Washington, he can play some good corner, but Jamie Mueller, boom! That's the kind of day it was. 3 plays later, Kenneth Davis, yeah, he scored 3 touchdowns, 48-3. Al Davis could only shake his head. No more bickering Bills. A year ago, those two men, Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly, were in his other throats. Today, they're smiling, laughing. And the man, the only man who's ever owned the Buffalo Bills, Ralph Wilson, finally gets his dream of the Super Bowl. Cornelius and Bruce, some dirty dancing. Jim Kelly lined up the coach for a little Buffalo shower. And the Bills lined up the Raiders to a 51-3 bashing at Rich Stadium, which is probably still flying, although the game was over about 4 hours ago. After the game, the no-huddle offense, which worked so well, Thurman Thomas talked about it.
We've been running the no-huddle for a long period of time now, and it would seem that their coaches would know that this is what got us here right now in the championship game, so they should have prepared for it.
I felt we were prepared. I felt we had good sessions. I felt we were mentally prepared to play the game, but you still got to come out and play. We just didn't do that today. We didn't play well enough to win the football game.
I thought I could throw the ball very well today. It's just one of those things where I tried to force some things. I didn't make some good throws here or there. Plus, they made some good plays here and there, and it just snowballed.
Teams get their chance, but 20 years down the road, they're not going to know who was. They'll say, "Oh, Buffalo was in it," but they're going to know who won it. So our goal is to win it, not just to show up.
I don't know how right now we could be as modest as we're going to be, but we really have to win the Super Bowl. That's the final goal.
2 playoff games, 95 points, 995 yards in total offense. I don't care if you like the Bills. I don't even care if you like football, Tom. If you follow sports, what you're seeing in this team right now are athletes reaching the pinnacle. They're reaching as far as their goals and their abilities can, and that's got to get you excited. They certainly are in Buffalo.
Chris, I don't know when I've seen an offense play better than the Buffalo Bills. You look at this team both running the ball and passing the ball. I think everything is initiated by the offensive line. We saw the numbers in the highlights. Thurman Thomas, 170 total yards at halftime. Jim Kelly throwing for almost 250 yards by halftime. And I don't know if this team can be stopped playing at the level that they're playing at now.
You know what it is, Tommy? The offense is arrogant in the way they go out and they do their business, but not in the way they deport themselves. Last year, they're a little more arrogant up here. This year, they're channeling that arrogance on the field, and you're seeing the result. Plus, their defense, with so many excellent players, finally put one together, only giving up the 3.
And one of those excellent players who I think never receives the recognition that he deserves, Darryl Talley. If you watch him play football and you don't recognize the fact that he's one of the best linebackers in this game, well, I know one of the teams that play next week, the Giants, will certainly know where he is when they snap the football.
They will have to know where he is. And the Raiders, hey, they got beaten very badly today, 51-3. But this was a team that hadn't been in the playoffs since '85. This is a proud team that made it to the Final Four. They made a large move this year. They should be proud of the job they did. They were just playing in Buffalo, where the Bills were 10-0 this season. Enough on the rest of the day in sports, and believe it or not, there were some other things to talk about. But let's cut right to the chafe. New York, New York. Would they be singing that song a la Frank Sinatra for the Giants? This is how we start a game day. Or would they be singing Fool for the City by Foghat in honor of the guys in upstate New York who come from the smaller town of Buffalo? It was the closest Super Bowl ever. It was very possibly the best Super Bowl game ever. The silver anniversary Super Bowl at Tampa Stadium came out sterling silver. No question about it. And it all got set at the Big Sombrero. Tampa Stadium hosting its second Super Bowl. What a scene before the game. The flags, the Jets, the national anthem, a great show. And fittingly, 2 teams who wear red, white, and blue. The Bills and the Giants faced off. Bills got the kick, but Marv Levy's team went 1, 2, 3 and out. Bill Parcells' Giants looking much more polished at the beginning of the game than the Bills. Jeff Hostetler finds Howard Cross on the play fake. Hostetler showing some pause to Mark Ingram for a first down. The Hoss and the Giants moving on their first possession. Phil Simms looking on from the sidelines. An 11-play, 58-yard drive results. Last week's hero, Matt Barr, early hero today, 28-yard field goal, 3-0 G-Man. Jim Kelly and the Bills come back, though, as you know, they do it quickly. Kelly goes deep to James Lofton, has the step, and Perry Williams tips the ball. But look at Lofton. Everson Walls saves a touchdown right there, but it goes down to the 7 in the hurry-up offense work.
Perry Williams here gets caught in single coverage. He tries. He does tip the ball away, and that tip, combined with the Walls tackle, saves a touchdown.
It did, and it ended up in a Scott Norwood field goal, 23 yards, 3-3 after 1. Joe, the Bills wanted to rattle the Hoss today.
They did. They really wanted to. Now watch the screen here. It comes from Kirby Jackson on the outside. You see the corner blitz? He and Cornelius Bennett nail him. Now, it's important to remember that Hostetler kept his confidence after that.
That's right, because he really had to keep his confidence after Dr. Sack. Leon Easter Seals nails Hostetler. Looked for a while, the Hoss wouldn't get up. Leonard Marshall knocked Montana out last week, took 3 steps, a blatant roughing the passer call against Jim Kelly. Kelly gets the Bills going on another drive, hitting his favorite receiver, Andre Reed. But watch what happens to Reed. Nailed by Mark Collins. He would remember that hit all game long. 2 plays later, Kelly to Thurman Thomas, who was marvelous. Finally, he is thrown down by Carl Banks, had to leave the game for 1 play. Later, Kelly to Reed on the crossing pattern. The no-huddle Bills pick up another first down. Then he checks off to the tight end, Keith McKellar, in the flat. Bulls inside the 10-yard line. Bill Parcells' defense in a state of confusion. 12-play, 80-yard drive capped off by Don Smith. 10-3 Buffalo in the second.
Here you see Gary Reasons in the middle of the field, number 55. He does a good job of filling the hole, and the fullback Mueller does a good job of taking him out.
Of filling Reasons. So Parcells very concerned. They're backed up near their own end zone. And Hostetler's going to pass. Watch what happens to the deep back. He collides with the feet of O.J. Anderson. Bruce Smith is there before he can escape. It's a safety. Last team to get a safety in the Super Bowl was the Giants against Denver. It's now 12-3 Buffalo.
And even if Hostetler had not stumbled, I think Bruce Smith was going to get this safety. He blows by Jumbo Elliott here and Otis Anderson. He made it look easy, Joe.
Yeah, but the thing you got to look at is watch what happens to Hostetler. He trips over O.J.'s foot. Notice, watch the left side of your screen. Bruce Smith grabs for the ball. Hostetler, using his presence of mind, keeps it in, doesn't fumble the ball.
So it's 12-3. The Bills couldn't move after that, had a chance to put the game away. And the Giants, with a few minutes to go in the half, get O.J. Anderson. Not going to go for 18 yards. Then Hoss, play action. Mark Ingram into Bills territory. Then look at that little Megan run in the misdirection. He goes for 15 yards. The Giants moving the ball when it looked like they were in deep trouble. 3rd and 7. Howard Cross, again a big reception, dives for the first down. Bills defense can't stop the Giants. On 3rd and 10, Stephen Baker beats Nate Odoms, the same play that Hoss made a couple weeks ago against the Bears. Touchdown, just 25 seconds to go, 12-10. The Giants trail by only a deuce.
You said it, Chris. We've seen it 3 weeks in a row. We also saw it against the 49ers. Corner pattern.
Take a look at those game films next year and figure that out. LT along with Thermal Thomas, wondering what would happen in the second half. 12-10 Buffalo. Otis Anderson on the sweep. 3rd and 1, you think he made it? Yeah, he got 24 yards. First down, impressively. 3rd and 13. You hearing this 3rd down number? To Mark Ingram, maybe the play of the game. Look at him. Hustle, bustle, rumble, stumble. First down for the Giants. Another 3rd down situation on 3rd and 4. Play fake. Haas to Cross. Howard Cross is killing the Bills. It's down to the 3. Then on 2nd and goal, Anderson, touchdown, standing up, 17-12 Giants. The longest scoring drive in the history of the Super Bowl, 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Bills haven't had the ball yet. Momentum going the Giants' way. On 3rd and 18, Kelly all day found his guys covered deep. Leonard Marshall with the sack. But the Giants aren't in the clear yet because the best all-purpose back in football, Thermal Thomas, looking to warm things up, blow past Myron Guyton. And on the first play of the fourth quarter, it's a touchdown. The Bills lead 19-17. But the Giants refuse to fold. Haas to the regular tight end Bavaro. Gain of 13. 3rd and goal. Haas. Almost intercepted, batted down by Cornelius Bennett. From there, the 21-yard field goal, Matt Barr, 20-19, the Giants. Minute 42 to go in the game. Thurman Thomas off the left side. And he's down to the Bills' 40-yard line. The Bills cross midfield. Kelly doesn't really zip it. McKellar scoops it off the ground down to the 40 of the Giants. Then Thurman Thomas cuts down to the 30. It's going to be a long one, but Scott Norwood has made 47-yard field goals before. The snap, the ball is down, it's up, it's no good. No good. With seconds to go, Norwood and the Bills slide left. The Giants, the Bills are in shock. Pepper Johnson and Bill Parcells' hug says it all. Marv's frustration, LT's elation. Super Bowl 25. Was there ever a better one? We doubt it. The Giants 20, the Buffalo Bills 19. The MVP in the game, O.J. Anderson. Thurman Thomas had 135 yards for the Buffalo Bills, but O.J. Anderson was the MVP because of his churning up. Also a 100-yard game. O.J. Anderson had 102 yards rushing on 21 carries for the Giants. It was so exciting you could hear that my voice has gone south. Let's face it, Tommy, the Giants had a lot of goals tonight. I think they got every one.